Hi, I'm Stacy with Worship Guitar Resources, and today we're going to build an HX Stomp patch from scratch. My goal with this channel is to produce resources that help you to play better and sound better in your worship services. One way I do that is by producing cover videos with the tabs displayed. You can also get those tabs in all 12 keys along with the HX Stomp preset and sometimes the Helix preset. The other way I do that is by producing videos like this where I share things I've learned along my tone journey. The preset we're going to build today is going to be based around the Matchstick Channel 1, which is a digital version of the Matchless DC30, which is a boutique take on the Vox AC30. The Vox uses Alnico blue speakers, gold speakers, and I believe silver. And the Matchless amps use ceramic. There's two options for that, a G25 and an H30. All right, let's get to it. The first thing we're going to do is change the BPM. It comes stock at 120. We want to change that to 72. A lot of the songs we do are kind of in that range of tempo. The first thing I'm going to do is add the amp, which, as we already discussed, will be the Matchstick Channel 1. And then I'm going to add the cabinet. I'm going to do a dual cab with dual H30s. So there's one. The first one we're going to mic with the 7 dynamic, and the second one we will mic with the 57 dynamic. Both are going to be on the cap edge, both at 1 inch, the low cut at 80, high cut at 5 kilohertz. And then we're going to leave it centered and leave the level at the same spot. All right, and cap edge, cap edge. All right, and so in building out this preset, the Matchstick Channel 1 is the cleaner of the two. Channel 2 is their overdrive channel, but it breaks up pretty quick. So we're going to start this at right around 3.5 as far as the drive goes. And coming down, I want to bring the bass down to 4, the cut, bring it down to 6.5, treble up to 5. And then presence, I'm going to bring up to 2.5, but we may adjust that in a minute. Channel volume, we'll put it 8. Sag is going to be the amount of attack that is coming off of the amp. So I don't like that to be down to 0 because then it's too instant, and all the way up to 10, it's a bit too soft. So we'll put it right at 5.5, and then hum. When you drag it all the way up, you're going to hear just like a low hum. And then as you bring it down, it'll go away. But there's low end in that hum. So I like to bring it up past 5.5. And depending on the amp, right around 6.5 to 7 is a sweet spot. Ripple, I keep at 0. And bias, what I do with that is I hit a big chord, and then I'm going to drag that across. And at one point, it's going to start to drop in volume, and I'm going to come back to that, and that's where I want to keep it. So right there at 5.5, it peaks, and then it starts to drop after that. So that's where we want it. And then bias X, it'll be up for sure past 5. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit the chord and then drag that over and see what 10 sounds like, and then bring it back down toward the 5. It's very subtle. It just kind of smooths things out a little bit as you push that. But let's hear how it sounds at 0 and then back to 6.5. So. It's very subtle, but I like it right there. So we're going to keep that. And then our cabs are good. Next, we're going to add a simple EQ. And we're going to bump that holy mid-range, 777 hertz at 2.5 decibels. And then let's listen to it without and with. It just adds a little bit of growl. All right, next we're going to add our reverb. We're going to go with the dynamic hall at 2.5 seconds. and 100 milliseconds of delay on that, pre-delay. Diffusion, let's hear it at 0 and 100. I don't hear a great deal of change in that, so we'll go at 40%. Damping, that has a change for sure. Somewhere down here around 8. I like that. We don't want it too bright and we don't want it too dark, so I think that's a good spot. And then mix, I want to bring down to 35. And then motion, you can kind of hear a little bit of movement in that. I think that's going to work for me at 2.9. And then the low frequency, high cut, and those things, we're going to leave. Turn on trails. And for delays and reverbs, I set the decay to snapshots for decay and mix. All right, so that's good for snapshot 1. For our reverb, next we're going to add delay. I'm going to do the transistor tape in mono since we are running into a single amp. We'll change that to dotted eighths. Feedback on this delay, I like to have down just under 50, so like 45. And then mix for this snapshot, we'll start at 35% and see how that sounds. And then turn the trails on and the headroom all the way up. So you get a real clean delay. It's kind of doing a thing. It has the wow and flutter, but as it goes away, it gets a little darker and it still stays clean. It doesn't get bit crushed. All right, we're going to change the feedback to snapshots and mix to snapshots. So that's going to be good. That's going to be good for snapshot 1. All right, next I want to add a modulation. And let's see, chorus. Let's see, depth, bump that up a little bit. That's pretty good. That's going to be something that we add to snapshot 3, which will be used for swells. So we'll turn that off for now. Also, I'm going to turn off the delay and the reverb, and we're going to add our overdrive. So the overdrive I want to use for this one is the heir apparent. And let's see, without and with. I want this to be fairly level in volume to the amp so that when we turn it off for clean tones, we're not having a big volume drop. Also, we're going to change it from the higher gain mod to the normal. And the reason for that is the higher gain mod cuts off too much low end and it's not as smooth as we want it to be for our first stage of overdrive. That's pretty good. The next thing we're going to add is a second overdrive, and this is going to be for lead tones. We're going to attach this to a foot switch. So this one we're going to use the Diana drive at a pretty low gain setting. We'll start with 2.5. Put the tone at 5. All right, let's adjust the voice. Here it is at 0. And at 10. All right, that's pretty good. Let's see. And then what we'll do is right click, go down to bypass assign and foot switch 1. And we're also going to do that for our chorus. No, we won't. We'll keep that. We're going to do that for our other overdrive, and that one we're going to bypass for foot switch 2. For the chorus, we're going to leave that on Snapshot 3, but we won't try to turn it on otherwise. If you do want to have access to that on any of the other presets and you decide that you want the air apparent to be on all the time, then you can take that off of the foot switch and put the chorus on that. All right, that is Snapshot 1. Snapshot 2, we're going to take off the Diana drive. We'll leave the chorus out, and then we're going to make changes to our delay and reverb. So for this one, let's get a more rhythmic delay. All right, that's nice. So I just bumped that to 45%, and I kept the feedback at 45. If you want to hear more repeats more clearly, you'll just bump that up. All right, reverb, we're going to take that to 4 seconds. Go 4.5, and then keep it at 35%. All right, and then Snapshot 3 is going to be for swells. We're going to keep the Diana drive off, the air apparent on. We're going to add our chorus, and then we're going to run our feedback up to, let's see what 60% does, and then our mix up to 45. That sounds good. And then decay, we're going to go 12 seconds. And 45%. And here's what that's going to sound like. All right, so just to do a quick run through of the tones that we got, here's Snapshot 1. Also, this guitar is Tele Custom. It has a standard Telecaster pickup in the bridge, a humbucker in the neck, with independent controls. I have the tone rolled back pretty far on that bridge pickup because it's pretty bright. We'll go to Snapshot 1, there we are. And here's what that sounds like, and then I'll switch to the neck pickup, and you can hear just the amount of treble is adjusted to kind of match that. All right, we'll turn our delay and reverb back on. Nope, right there. Make sure that's the case for these others, and we can just run through. We're good. All right, so just kind of playing that same lead line on Snapshot 1. Snapshot 2. And Snapshot 3 with the swells. I hope you found that useful. If you did, subscribe and hit that like button for good measure. Let me know in the comments below what's your go-to method for choosing the gear in your digital rig. Don't forget you can download this preset for free. In the description box below, it's going to come with one for single coils and filtertrons, and then a second preset that's going to work great for humbuckers. All right, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in the next one.